Hello crafting friends, my name is Becca Oakes and I am a craft producer here at Makers Going to Learn. If you're not familiar with what Makers Going to Learn is, we are a crafting community for die cut crafters specifically. We offer a membership for you guys and that yearly membership includes over 2,500 cut files, 250 fonts, over 250 fonts and grids, and so much more. We offer our yearly members 3 free e-courses. We do some awesome printable resource guides for you guys, access to our private Facebook group that has over 5,000 crafters in there, so that's an awesome resource for you guys. We also offer a free commercial license for you, and then we have all sorts of wonderful craft tutorials for you guys to really learn how to be amazing crafters. We try to give you guys some awesome tips, tricks, and techniques to make you guys master crafters. So everyone here at Makers Gonna Learn really loves to help you guys learn. We love to teach you guys, which is why I'm excited to do this fun project with you today. The 3 cut files that we're going to be using for this project are available for you for free today. You can access those by clicking the link below. Go ahead and download those, and then you guys can craft along with me today for this fun project. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and dive into the supplies that we're going to need for today. Okay, so for today's project, we're going to be working with rolled felt flowers, and we're going to be embellishing this adorable llama picture that we found at our local craft supply shop. So any cute picture like this, I mean, you could do a cow, or you could do really any animal if you wanted to. And we're just going to be making like a little felt crown type thing that will give it a really cool 3D effect. So you'll need something like that. It could be just a canvas. It doesn't have to necessarily be framed. Anything that you like that. We also are going to be needing our fabric grit mat today, since we are going to be working with felt, and the felt that we're using is a wool felt, so it is thicker. You will need your rotary blade, so you'll have to be using a Cricut maker to do that. Now, if you wanted to use felt that was not wool blend, like a thinner felt, then you can definitely use that Explorer 2 or other die cutting machine that you have. We're also going to be using our Lynn Lily glue gun, some glue sticks, needle nose pliers, some florist wire, and then just an assortment of felt colors that you like. Okay, now that we have our supply list covered, let's move over into Design Space, and I'll show you all how to manipulate the files that we are going to be using. Okay guys, so these are the 3 cut files that we're going to be using for today's project. Again, if you don't have them, you can get them for free down below. Go ahead and click that link and download these for free to you. What a treat. We do have in our resource, or not our resource library, our cut file library at Makers Gonna Learn, we do have many other designs. So these are just 3 of my favorite that we're gonna be using today. Okay guys, this is a smaller project that we're going to be doing today, as far as I want smaller flowers. So I'm going to take that into account when I am sizing these. So these larger rolled flowers, I'm going to size at about 6 inches, because when I roll them up, they roll to about 1.5 inches. So the finished flower is about 1.5 inches in diameter, if that gives you any idea. So honestly, I don't need to change the size too much. I'm just clicking the layer of the flower that I want to size, and then I'm going to go up to the top and then change that to 6 inches. I'm going to do the same with this other rolled flower. Go up to the top and change that. And then this little one on the left, oh my gosh, is so cute. And it is going to be a tiny little flower, because I want it to have like a little bud accent. So I want to size him at about 1.5 inches, so that he will be little bitty when he is rolled up and glued. So guys, at this point, what we can do is change the color of each of these, so that they will be put on separate mats. At this point, if we hit make it, they would put the Design Space would put it all on one mat, because it's all the same color. So I'm going to change those colors just to random colors. It doesn't necessarily matter what colors they are, just so that they're different and are placed on separate mats. Okay guys, this little rolled flower 13, is actually imported as a print and cut, which is fun, but that's not what we need. So I want to go up here. I want to make sure that that layer is selected, and then go up to the top where it says line type and fill. Press that drop down menu under fill, and then press no fill. That way it's going to cut it now instead of print and then cut. So we just want it to be cut. Also, we are going to be making some adorable little leaves for this project, and I want to show you really quickly how to assemble those. We do have a leaf cut file in our library, our cut file library, that has a cute little stem on it, but I'm going to show you just a fun little hack using basic shapes in Design Space, how to make your own leaf. So go and select a heart, and then you can kind of manipulate the size ratio on it by clicking that bottom left lock button. You see now it's unlocked, and now I can squish it or make it squattier or however I want to do that. I'm going to make it a little bit narrower. And then once I'm happy with the shape of that, then I'm going to duplicate the layer. I can right click and press duplicate, or I could have done that over here in the layers menu. Either way is fine, but now that I'm ready, or now that that is duplicated, I'm going to go up to the top panel where it says flip and press flip vertical. Then I'll put these right on top of each other here, and you can see right here, let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see it better. There's a hole right there, and we don't want that because it will cut that out. So you just need to make sure that it is overlapped like that so there's no hole. I'm going to select both of these layers and then go up to the top where it says align and press center or horizontally. So once I've centered it horizontally, I know that there's not going to be any odd edges cut on one side or the other. I'm going to select both layers again, go down to the bottom right of this layers panel and press weld. So now that's one layer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and size him down. These are going to be tiny little leaves, and I want them to be 1 inch. So again, my leaf layer is selected, and I'm going to go up to the top and change that to 1 inch. Look how little he is. I do need 12 of these, and I'm going to show you a quick way to do that. I will duplicate this just a few times. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it 3 times. And then I will group these together and then duplicate these again so that I have 12 total. Now what I'm going to do is select all of those and attach them so that they will cut together. Okay, now that I'm finished with this, I can hit make it. You can see up at the top where it says project copies. If you want duplicates of any of these, say you wanted 2 of each of these flowers, then you would just go up to the top and press 2 project copies, if that's what you want. So now that I'm finished with that, I'm going to press continue. I'm going to connect to my maker, and then I'm going to select the material that I need. You can see that felt wool fabric is one of our favorited items or favorite materials because we use it quite a lot. So we went ahead and started that so that it comes up automatically for us. Then it's asking me to load my rotary blade in the maker, so I have done that. Also, I'd like to point out, I'm going to go ahead and select more pressure up here under pressure, just because our rotary blade is a little bit used and I want to make sure that it cuts through that thick felt really well. So now I am going to load my mat with each felt each corresponding felt with the mat that I'm cutting, and let my maker do all the cutting. Okay, so now that that cut is finished, we're just going to remove this excess from the mat. And now you can see we have that cute little flower left. Okay, so now I am going to load this mat with my next felt color and cut that felt flower out as well. Okay, this one is finished cutting, so we're going to remove the excess on this one as well, just by pulling up here. And that uncoils perfectly. And we're left with a super cute flower to roll. Okay, we are ready to start rolling this wonderful flower. We just have our Lynn Lily glue gun. We particularly love the Lynn Lily glue gun for these small projects because it has a small nozzle on it. So it just gives a little stream of glue, which is all you need when you're gluing these together. So use whichever one you want, but this is really nice and it saves your fingers from unnecessary burns. Okay, so we're just gonna work in 4 to 6 inch increments when we're hot gluing. But first, just to get it started, I like to put a little tiny dab of glue and then fold that end over. So now that I have that folded over and dried, then I can start, like I said, with 4 to 6 inch increments in my little stream of glue. And then just start rolling it. Make sure that it's good and tight. Well, if you want a good and tight flower, make sure it's good and tight. If you want it to be a looser flower, then you can be a little more loose with it. The nice thing about these is you can get a couple of different looks, even with the same cut file and the same size, depending on how you roll it. So that's pretty neat. Make sure that your bottoms are lining up all along the way, and I'll show you in just a second what I mean by that. So you want to make sure that the bottom of this is flat. So guys, these rolled flowers are really easy to make with cardstock or leather. We've done a lot of different things and they're super fun. They work up really well. I use hot glue to do them all. You could use like a fabric glue or something like that, although the dry time on that is longer. So I feel like hot glue is just the best option. And guys, the reason that I want to do the smaller 4 to 6 inch bits of hot glue is so that the hot glue doesn't dry before I get to it. So if I did a super long stream of hot glue and maybe had some difficulty in rolling it or something, by the time I got to the end right here, it might be dry and it wouldn't stick necessarily good. So we're getting to the end of this, and you can see this rounded part at the end of it is actually going to be the base of our flower. So you want to make sure that's one reason why you wanted to make sure that this was nice and flat while you were rolling it. So I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on here and then go ahead and put some glue on this round here. Okay guys, so we have a super cute rolled flower. As you can see, that was very easy and super quick for you guys to do. Now we're going to start with this little baby bud, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the large. We're just going to roll it. It doesn't matter which side that you start with this because they're both the same. So again, we'll add a tiny bit of glue to this very end and just roll that end over. Let it dry nicely so that it doesn't move when you start to roll the rest of it. Okay, and then I'm just going to put glue on the rest of this. Since this is smaller, I can go ahead and glue the whole thing, and I'll have it rolled before it dries. Just roll in the same way that you did the other one, keeping that bottom flat. And then on these buds, I like to put a little bit of glue on the last part of the petal, just so that it doesn't kind of flap open. And guys, if you you can see I got a little bit of extra glue right here. You can actually use like a heat gun or a hair dryer and heat that back up to get any excess off. It's a fun trick for hot glue because hot glue can definitely be messy. But now we have this adorable little bud that's going to make a super cute accent on our project. Okay, so now we're going to make the stem for that little bud. Just using florist wire. I think this is about an 18-inch florist wire, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's not just wire. It's sort of coated in this nice material, which gives it a cool look. So I'm just going to use my wire cutters to cut that in half. So I'm going to make a cute little platform on this stem so that the flower will rest nicely on it. I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. You'll just use your needle nose pliers. You could also use like jewelry making pliers, the little ones. Those would be fine as well, especially because this is a thinner material and it bends really easily. So all I'm going to do is stick the end of this wire in my needle nose pliers and then bend it and squish it down so that it's kind of flat. And then I'm going to put that flat part in my pliers and just rotate this so that I'm making a spiral look, or spiral shape, excuse me. And then this doesn't have to be big because those little buds are tiny. And you can see now I have that little flat spiral shape. Now I'm going to put this in my other hand and then just bend this wire down so that it's underneath the spiral platform. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just add a dollop of glue to the top of this and then put our little bud flower on the top. You can set it to the side. I recommend like getting a cup or something like that while you're doing these and kind of setting them in there so that this isn't laying flat on the table. That way it doesn't move. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how to do our cute little leaves that we have. So I'm just going to use the same forest wire that we used before and cut it in half just like we did with the buds. But we don't need to make a platform for these. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue right here at the end. Put our little stem on there and let it get a little bit tacky. So you can see I'm kind of pulling, it's giving a little bit of resistance, which is good. And then I'm just gonna barely fold those ends over so that they touch and then create that cute little leaf look. So I'm gonna do that for the remaining leaves that I have. Okay, so now that I have these finished, I'm going to make my cute little grouping of 3. So you can kind of just arrange them however you want. I like to do one in the center a little bit taller and then kind of stagger the ones on the sides. But however you want to do that is fine. And I like them kind of close together because I don't necessarily want to see this stem in the middle. So I'm going to kind of put those close together. And then I'm going to put my hand at the base of this and twist these wires. If you don't have good hand strength to do this, you can use your needle nose pliers to do that. Now I'm just going to arrange these and make sure that I like the placement of them, and then snip off the extra because I don't need a long stem of them. Okay, so I have all of my felt flowers and leaves assembled and ready to be put on our cute little llama picture. Okay guys, so I'm just going to assemble these unglued so that I can get an idea of where I want to put them. I'm going to add these big flowers first because I know that I want those in the center, and then I'll kind of go in and add the extra green twigs here and there. Now that I have those twigs placed, I want to go in and put the little buds here and there. Just sort of randomly spacing the colors out. Well, I said randomly, but I think I like them right here in a little grouping. You could definitely do them randomly, but I'm not going to now because I like it that way. So this is just a rough idea of where I think I want everything. Once I think I have it placed, then I can go ahead and start gluing. Okay guys, so I'm going to start gluing these down now that I have an idea in my head of how I want to place them. And if you're a visual person and maybe don't remember where you placed things, it's a good idea once you get it placed to take a picture maybe on your phone or something like that so that you can reference it. So as you can see, I kind of put these underneath the flowers, and I want to start with applying these first. So I'm going to need to have a little, I'm going to need to be able to still get this stem underneath my flower. So if I put a ton of glue on here, I'm not going to be able to wedge that under. So keep that in mind when you're gluing, and only put like a small amount, Or maybe on this one, I would just do it kind of on the side right here that nothing is going to be pushed under. So keep that in mind when you're gluing. I'm going to start with this one in the center. Put a little bit of glue right there in the middle of it. And I didn't have anything wedged under this one. So I don't necessarily have to be super cautious about that. Okay, now I'm going to add glue to this one, just around this edge that I know isn't going to need anything wedged under it. And then the same with this one. Okay, so now I'm going to add the little green leaf sprigs, and what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on the ends of those, on the back and the front of it. And then I'm going to kind of lift that flower and place it underneath. So I'm going to do the same with these. Glue on the front and the back. And the reason that I want to do it on the front and the back is because I want the back to adhere to the actual picture, and I want the front to adhere to the flower. And guys, the reason, you could definitely have placed all of these leaves separately. You didn't necessarily have to group them together, and you didn't necessarily have to put them on the stems. I just thought that it was easier to place them and to manipulate them with the wire on them. So you can definitely skip that step if you prefer not to do it. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the leaves and just put a little bit of glue on the ends of all of these buds and place them individually. Okay guys, and once you get all of these placed, because these little buds specifically are on those wires, you can move them around a little bit if you want to. They kind of make them kind of stand up. I forgot to mention that when I put my little buds on the actual platform, I did bend them a little bit so that it gave a less flat look when I put them down. But they're all in there. They're very secure. It's super cute, and I'm loving this project. Okay guys, look at this adorable project that we have finished. This is gonna look so cute in my niece's bedroom who loves llamas. It's such a cute and girly little embellishment on it, and it was quick and adorable and custom, and she's gonna love it. All right guys, thank you so much for crafting with me today, and if you haven't already, remember to click below and grab these free cut files for you, or for yourself, for your library, so that you can make some adorable crafts with them as well. Like I said earlier, there are so many different things that you can do with these flowers. I know that you guys are going to love these cut files. If you haven't checked out our website, makersgonnalearn.com, go ahead and do that. We would love to have you as a member, and we would love to craft with you in the future. Thanks so much.